Aloha, and thank you so much for watching this video. This is, of course, another Team Tarot reading for ParadigmShiftCentral.com, a real-world interactive game to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. And of course, this is about building a global team of shifters, light workers, light guardians, those of us who are intentionally helping assist with the shift in consciousness through acts of creativity and compassion. So what we do here, as I'm just charging the deck, it's been really exciting because I've been working with tarot just recently a lot over the weekend. I was at like a little festival gig and I did close to probably 20 readings. Very, very impactful, very meaningful, very important also for me. And so now for me to be able to come out of that, for me to be able to bring that energy back into this broadcast, to be able to share with the team is always exciting. So as I was saying, the intention behind doing this is to be able to allow us to align with the intention of show us what we need to see. And when I talk to people about tarot readings, I always explain to them that this isn't so much just about predicting the future. It's more about being able to see a mirror, for us to be able to see more of ourselves, for us to be able to receive kind of like that cosmic forecast, that message from the universe, something to be able to reflect on, something important for us to be able to keep in mind and keep in heart. And through that, we gain more clarity, inspiration, and insight as well. So before we get into this, just as I keep charging the deck, I do want to be able to let you guys know that I will be offering more of my team tarot readings, my individual tarot readings in the future. So if you're watching this and you enjoy this and you want to go a little bit deeper and be able to book an individual session with me, just send me a message and we can find a time that will work for you. And it is a pay what you wish scale between $5 and $35 US. So just send me a message if that's something you would like. And again, it's a great opportunity just to be able to connect deeper and again, just to be able to see what messages the universe has for us. So let's allow ourselves to drop into the intention of show us what we need to see. And we'll move right through this and I'll read from the deck. This is the Ananda Tarot deck. And I'll give you some more insights on what the card means, how it relates to the Paradigm Shift Central project, and we'll go from there. And of course, huge shout out to everyone watching this. Be sure to check out more at ParadigmShiftCentral.com. Add your support on Patreon. Oh, and bonus, if you're watching Patreon, and if you're watching this and you support on Patreon, you can actually sign up on Patreon and have that count towards a free tarot reading. So in addition to just paying for an individual reading, you can sign up for the Patreon and we can count that towards a reading right there and then. So that's a little bonus incentive for joining on Team Patreon. So, and if you've already joined the Team Patreon recently, send me a message and we can get you a reading as well. So awesome. Okay. So hovering the hand above the cards here, just allowing yourself to drop into this intention. And you're watching this in the future, whenever you're watching this, but just allow yourself to, again, just open your heart to be able to receive whatever message comes through in this moment. We allow ourselves to be able to communicate with the language of symbols, the higher source consciousness, the intelligence at the center of our heart. I'm floating my fingers here. Let us just take a couple breaths here as we drop into the intention of show us what we need to see. Show us what we need to see. Gentle inhale, exhale. Oh, great universe, show us what we need to see. Bloop. Okay. And today's card that we have is Cups 9. So let's dig a little deeper. Let's reveal a little bit more about what this card has to say, what message it has for us. And give me 2 seconds here as I flip it all the way open to the exact page that it is on. And again, doing these videos, I really hope that this perhaps even just encourages and inspires you to, share tarot reading with others if you've been called into it. By all means, it's a very, very powerful gift. So doing this with the purpose of clarity, inspiration, insight, let's read into this. So 9 of Cups, just looking at the actual image itself, we can literally see here that there are 9 cups kind of in a half crescent, holding up a mandala, or at least a mandala floating in the center of them. We have the stars above, and of course we have a landscape below. We can see there's a bit of a river kind of running beyond into the distance of the landscape, kind of carving a path through the mountains. And then we got man-made structures at the base, And there's a little sphere there with a box in the very bottom corner, which is interesting to note. So let's read a little bit more into this, and then we'll dive deeper based on my own personal interpretation. Nine of Cups. So as I'm reading this, you can just kind of listen, look at the image, close your eyes, open your mind. Nine of Cups. The image. In front of a deep blue sky above a landscape bathed in bright colors, a group of cups encircles a mandala. The meaning. Joy of being is an expression of a positive attitude towards life, with which man brings his inner world of emotions outside. As a result of turning inwards, in which he recognizes the outer world within the essence of his being, his consciousness grows in the awareness that his composition of the world is an answer to inner turmoil. As one calls in the wood, it echoes accordingly. In the certainty of deep feeling that the experience of inner connection to all life brings, the individual is then able to develop trust. I'll reread that part. In the certainty of deep feeling that the experience of the inner trust to all life brings, the individual is then able to develop deep trust. From the inner security that is experienced on a deeper level of existence grows the easy, carefree feeling of a childlike nature, which makes possible an innocent and carefree experience of the world of senses. The unhindered expression of joyous feeling of life not only fills one's beings with experience of intense joy, but also makes it possible for his fellow creatures to participate in it also. In experiencing the material world of form as a space of resonance for the mind, the individual consciousness recognizes itself as a part of the cosmic consciousness and becomes a conscious co-creator in the divine plan. As little as one should fall prey to the senses and become their slave, a forceful repression of feelings and their natural requirements becomes necessary. Reread that part. As little as one should fall prey to the senses and become their slave, a forceful repression of feelings and their natural requirements becomes necessary. Rather, the focus is more about sensory experiences and expression of feelings through which the soul gives outer forms their shape. The world of feelings builds the cutting edge between mind and matter. He who recognizes the beauty in things awakens them to life. By awakening them to life, he approaches his own fulfillment. Astrological significance: Moon, Venus, Novile aspects. Keywords: feelings of wholeness, loving attachment, expression of life, affirming feelings, collective play, lightheartedness, nurturing awareness, sensuality, artistic expression. Traditional meaning: pleasure, zest for life, social gathering, human warmth, affection, positive attitude towards life, joy of being, carefreeness. So this is a super cool card, a very, very like positive, uplifting card. Every card has its own positive message to it. This card really is about being able to just like reflect and embody that deep knowing of understanding that like everything in the world around us is us, and really bringing that to the forefront of our mind. And I think it's an interesting thing because I'm sure everybody who is watching this card, you've gone through varying processes of awakening. And I think we all go through this process where we're just like, oh my God, like the veins in my arms are the same branches of a tree. Oh my God, the branches of a tree are the forks of a river. Oh my God, the spiral of my finger is the spiral of a galaxy. And to really just kind of remind ourselves of this, remind ourselves of the joy and the feeling that we experience in the first moment of kind of realizing that divinity, that sacred connection between us and all things. Do you remember that? Do you remember what it felt like when sacred geometry was first brought to the forefront of your imagination? Do you remember that shift? Do you remember how it kind of opened your eyes? Now understand that there are many people out there who have yet to see with that perception, who have yet to have that slight paradigm shift. And so this card is really inviting us to be able to connect with that awareness, understand how a deepening of that awareness allows us to grow into our fulfillment, and to not only embody it within our everyday way of relating to the world, but also to be able to exemplify it so that others can be able to see it. Can your deep understanding and connection of the world be brought through your words? Can it be brought through your action? Can it be the reason why you're out there doing free hugs? Can you bring it into your art? Perhaps even more. And I think that in itself is such a powerful thing. And that's where, again, like this is kind of like the mandala in the middle of these like cups. It's kind of like upholding the beauty of this natural world. It's upholding the mystery, upholding the divine truth. And so again, the key words in this, like feeling of wholeness, loving attachment, that's a very interesting phrase, because when you think about it, like we are attached to the world around us. When we think about that, like attachment, we sometimes think of it as like a grabbing on thing. We think of it in terms of possession. But I think in this case, the loving attachment is more so kind of like understanding the grid that connects us, that attaches us to one another. We are part of a bigger network, and to really be able to feel love in that wholeness. And again, this may almost sound like kind of obvious, and I think we probably experience this where we kind of go through processes again within our journey of awakening, and then the idea of like, oh, okay, yeah, we all are one, unity, consciousness, everything is connected. That's there, but we sometimes almost kind of get like too brought into our immediate senses of the world, of the word, of the world, that thought process almost kind of falls to the back. And what happens when we can constantly just remind ourselves of this? And I think this is like a great reminder for us to be able to bring in that connection with nature. Go out for a walk in nature. Let this be a simple reminder to think about how the fact that spring is coming, for those of you in the northern hemisphere, in that part of the world, this is a great time for you to reaffirm your personal relationship with the world around you, and to do it in a very childlike way, and to do it as an extension, and to bring that childlike play as an extension of like almost feeling the childlike nature of nature. Can you think about that? Can you think about like how the flowers in themselves, the trees, the blossoming of the trees, the way the grass sways, can you almost see the childlike nature in that? And what is the childlike nature? The childlike nature in many ways can be thought of as like the fool energy, the one who kind of sees the magic, who sees the bigger game, who is just transcendent above kind of the story that might be kind of interplayed throughout culture, but it is one who can deeply and intimately know that at the center of their heart, that there's something more, that there's something deeper, that there is something incredibly divine. So life-affirming feeling, expression of life-affirming feelings, collective play, lightheartedness, nurturing awareness, sensuality, artistic expression. Really, again, just kind of like hitting upon this, and we'll wrap it up. Really just see this card as an example for you to even just like go up to a leaf and just like feel it. Just feel the leaf. Even just feel your own finger. Bring in that curiosity. Bring in that awe where you could like literally just look at your hand and you're just like, oh my God. Like there's like lines on my hand that I haven't even observed before. There's parts of my body that I'm unfamiliar with. There's a world around me that is constantly just like there for us to admire, there for us to be inquisitive about, there for us to ask questions to. And I think that would be another thing in itself. Go ask questions to the world around you, to your own connection to things. When you see somebody else, can you kind of ask and kind of think about like, how am I seeing myself through them? How are they seeing themselves through me? How can my actions actually allow them to see more of themselves within themselves? How can me bringing in this life-affirming connection, this life-affirming action, actually create a ripple effect that will invite others to do the same? And again, like just drawing this into the themes and the intention of the Paradigm Shift Central project. If you're watching this video, this entire project is about being able to encourage you to step into your potential as leaders. And this is something like it's already there. The seed is already there. And it's just calling you more into that understanding of how impactful your authentic actions have. And so for this, this is inviting us into being able to experience the joy of our authentic expression, to our authentic connection, and to be able to share that in social gathering, in humane warmth, in affection, positive attitude towards life, joy of being, carefreeness without being careless, something you hear us talking about before. And so go find Go find like an opportunity for you to be able to express this in your own unique way. Like I said, be a walk in nature, but also invite others to share in this with you. Invite your friends to go for a hike. Invite your friends to go for a park. Go play frisbee in the park. Take your dog out for a walk. Go sit under a tree and write some poetry. The world is constantly here to serve you by gently reminding you. Go watch a sunset. Go watch a sunrise. Again, this may sound pretty obvious. You're like, wow, Brendan, I'm listening to this entire video and all you're doing is just like reminding me to go connect with nature. Like, thanks. But straight up. And not just there, but to allow that to fuel your spirit so that you bring it into your art, so that you feel it in your everyday life, so that you feel it in your breath. Can you maintain that constant state of consciousness? And not to say it needs to be always there, but can you bring it? Can there be certain times where you're just kind of like, we'll do that. We almost feel like we're disconnected, but can you kind of be like, okay, let's remember how it serves me to connect with my breath and to connect with its deep remembrance, and to know that just by walking out in nature, and to also allow ourselves to know that it's not just the connection, but it's also the way and how that connection is actually a metaphor for the higher conscious ideas that remind us that things are unfolding as they should. That this too is the perfect reality. That this reality is incredibly divine. That everything coming to us is serving us, is here to help us grow, is here to help us come stronger, is here to deepen our roots. Can we really be reminded of that? And when we do that, it allows us to just flow through life. Not in a way where it's just like, sweet, now I don't have to, worry anymore, or I don't have to take action anymore. But it's like, actually, I'm going to care even deeper. I'm going to take action. I'm going to practice being courageous. What would you feel like if you were to think that like anything that you wanted to do, anything that you wanted to create, the universe had your back? The universe was here to be able to support it. What would you create? What would you do? How would you celebrate every single day of your life? And so just kind of like wrapping up on that. What are the little things that you can do to celebrate your own divinity, your own divine connection to life every single day? And maybe that's waking up and doing meditation, tuning into Waking Up with Wolf. Maybe it's spending time reading a book. Maybe it's times listening to others. Maybe it's just like being able to create ceremony for yourself out in nature. Maybe it's just like, it's just the breath. Can literally just be the breath. Like that is the access point in any moment to that truth. Let your breath serve as a symbol. Going back to remember when you really had that aha moment. Maybe you never left it. But again, that moment where you're just like, whoa, everything is a reflection of myself. I am everything. Everything is me. God is me. God is everything. Others are me. I am God. Like, interesting words. But it's beyond just words. It's a feeling. And what does it feel like to be there and know that by us being there intentionally, it invites others to be able to access that themselves. It invites others to be able to have those conversations, to talk to us about it, and for us to be able to hold space for their own process of awakening as we all continue to grow, as we all continue to learn, as we all continue to level up. So again, very, very, very beautiful card, especially just makes me like excited to like get outside and spend more time there. And again, allow that to inspire me to continue to show up in the best ways we can together as a team, in our art, in our action, in our hugs, in our smile, in the joy of our authentic being. So thank you. Thank you for investing in yourself, for creating the space and the connection that will fuel your journey of expressing your authentic being as a divine spark of light, as a beacon, as a light guardian. So there we go. Creating those ripples, creating those waves. That's what we do. We live in the joy of our heart, and it inspires others to do the same. I know that sounds simple, but that is essentially our job, to take care of ourselves, to tend to our own nature, to be inspired, to fill our cup with inspiration and peace, and then to share that. And that is like, again, you can see like kind of like the cups here. It's very much like the banquet, celebrating the truth, and the truth being the mandala, celebrating the truth at the center of our own heart. And together we come around and we're like, cheers to divinity, to consciousness, to the ongoing shifting of the paradigms as we return back to the truth of our hearts. So there you go. Thank you for celebrating the return back to the truth of our hearts. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So there you go. So there's the reading that we have for today. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning into this. Again, I will remind you that if you would like to be able to book a private one-on-one reading with me, just feel free to send me a message. The best way to do that is through Instagram at Mystic Spider-Man. I'll post the links down below unless you're already watching this on Instagram. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can also message me through Facebook, or I can put my email as well if that's an option that works for you. I'll put that in the info description. Also, and of course, if you would like to be able to get that special option, that special reward opportunity, you can sign up for the Patreon with a contribution of, actually, I was gonna say that, like, if you're signing up for the Patreon at the $10 level, I should clarify that. If you're signing up for the Patreon at the $10 level or higher, that's when you get like the additional free tarot reading that we would be able to book together. And again, you get 25% discount off all the other cool stuff, such as the shift buttons and the light guardian crystals at questitemshop.com. So be sure to check that out. Thank you for watching this video. Please feel free to leave your comments down below. How did this resonate with you? Does this just kind of like remind you to get even more excited about the fact that every day is a gift, every day is a blessing, every day is another opportunity for us to be able to connect with more of ourselves and to be able to share that magic? Like that is our job, right? That is a purpose that we can step into, to be able to help bring more magic into this world. And this world needs your magic. This world needs your weird. This world needs your unique artistic expression. This world needs your heart, your hugs, your smile. So thank you. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for being in this space where we can see it within each other. So awesome. There we go. Wrapping it up. Be sure to check out more at ParadigmShiftCentral.com. Share this video with your friends. Tune in again next week. We'll do another Team Tarot reading. And as always, keep it shifty, and I will see you in the future. Thank you for all you do. Go team. Ow, ow, ow. Much love.